Hey, welcome to another week of the BeLOCAL podcast. This week, I've decided to shift gears a little bit, and what I hope will be a series of segments focusing specifically on 501c3 charities, the founders and the people that run them, and how we can help and serve those folks. So because this is my show, I get to do what I want, and when something's pulling at my heart, I get to run with that. And so today I welcome Cherie Privet with City Mission. Say hi, Cherie.
Hey. Hey.
And we're going to talk a little bit about her mission and her passion. We'll talk a little bit about who she serves, and then what we as a community can do to help. I want to point out that everybody we bring in here is going to be incredibly locally focused, if not Plano, to at least to Collin County or Southwest Collin County, because we want to make sure that when we're giving our dollars or we're giving our time and effort or energy towards a lot of these initiatives, that it's coming back to our community. Yeah. And that's what I'm really passionate about. And so welcome, Cherie. Thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Yeah, thank you for asking us. This is a pleasure to be here. And to do this with you, talk a little bit about what's going on within our county, within our city of Plano, and even a little bit beyond that. So we serve all of Collin County, but we mainly serve here in Plano.
Okay.
Those that are experiencing homelessness.
Okay, yeah. So let's for people who have never heard of City Mission, and this is their first exposure to it. Just describe what you do a little bit and kind of in broad terms, because we'll get really into it in a minute.
Yeah. So we help those that are experiencing homelessness really with basic needs. We actually build relationships with them so that you have to build trust with individuals. So we give out clothing, hygiene, food, and connect with a lot of resources that are here within Collin County.
Okay. And when you say Collin County, are you particularly serving an area of Collin County? Can you tell me a little bit about where your roots lie and kind of where you typically spend most of your time?
So I'm actually from Wiley.
Okay.
And so, but we serve mainly here in Plano.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do go up into McKinney and Allen, but we've gone as far as Farmersville.
Mm-hmm.
So we do some outskirt things, and we'll do some things that are happening in Wiley as well. But a lot of the concentration of homelessness is actually here in Plano, McKinney, and somewhat a little bit in Frisco.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how you got started here.
Yeah.
Right. And then specifically, what obviously you identified a need in this community, and how was that need not being met? What are your goals? Just go ahead and elaborate a little bit on that.
So I'm very servant gifted. I've been serving in Collin County for a really long time. And I say Collin County because there's a lot of nonprofits and there's a lot of areas to be able to go into within. But so in 2020, me and my husband had decided that we were going to start a thing called Rock the Socks. And it was strictly just collecting socks, brand new socks for individuals, because socks are kind of the foundation of your day and your life. To be honest with you, most of us wear socks, right? Mm-hmm. And we like to have clean socks. Well, homeless individuals will wear those socks for 2 weeks. They've been wet, dirty, and I don't know about you, Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to wear socks for 2 weeks, the same pair. They're going to stand up straight by the time you take them off.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so we started collecting socks, called it Rock the Socks. And we would go out into Dallas, but we started here in Plano. We would ride the rails, the DART train, all the way into Dallas and all the way into Frisco. And so that's how we really got started. And then the bigger need was, what are we doing for those that are experiencing homelessness really right here in Plano? Mm-hmm. Because we could spend a whole day doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as that evolved from Rock the Socks, right, into what is a much more comprehensive collection of services, right? Yes. What did those early days look like? How did you kind of evolve into doing more than just, throwing socks at people experiencing homelessness?
Yeah, so our early days looked like backpacks and walking 5 to 10 miles outside of the train system. Like we would walk 5 to 10 miles in one day, just finding those that are experiencing homelessness. And we can literally go to, you can see different individuals. They'll be on a street corner. They'll be by a Dollar Tree, just right on the outside. And they actually are living here at night, here in Plano. And so how do we help them, and how do we navigate services all in one building for them?
Yeah. It's when you say, there's a lot of people experiencing homelessness here in Plano. I don't know if everybody in this community necessarily sees that, right? You consider this little niche of Southwest Collin County to be highly affluent, upper middle class, great facilities, great services, great amenities for the people that live and work here. And I'd say that I was surprised to learn that this is a real issue affecting people in our community all the time. What kind of situations are the families facing when they come to you? Like, what are the major issues that they're experiencing, and how do you help there?
Yeah, so you're trying to find out what the root problem is. There's almost always a root thing that has happened of why somebody is experiencing homelessness, and many of us understand, or even know that. It is addiction, right? Mental illness. Those are some major issues. But it's also the disconnect from their family that they have, and not having community around them, or good community, people that can speak into their lives and actually kind of help. You and I, Tanner, get to experience some of that in such a great way. Like, I love what we get to do on Friday mornings and meeting you through the Plano Chamber. And so those are some really great positive type communities that we get to be involved in. Most of us do, right? But there's individuals that don't get that. And so when you don't have somebody speaking into your life positively somewhere, then all these things that are hitting you negatively, a loss of a job, loss of a parent, loss of a sibling, loss of a child, that also can cause things like addiction and mental health issues. When you don't have somebody to kind of lift you up, then you can get yourself stuck right back into those spaces. And I've been there. Yeah. Like, I literally really have been there. And so has my older brother. And so we are just really wanting to see people for who they are. Like, there's somebody's son and there's somebody's daughter. Like, we all are. And so how do we help them? Even at times when they don't want the help, right? So, because they don't know how to get it.
Now, you mentioned that, like, you and your brother have been there, right? Do you mind talking a little bit about yourself and what your experience has been, and kind of how that helped shape, like, maybe what you misunderstood about experiencing homelessness and the type of people that might find themselves in that situation, right?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, almost the beginning of my life, I'm going to do it really quickly. So my biological father was convicted of murder the day that I was born. He was convicted and sentenced the day after. So, and my mom already had 3 kids, 2 kids. And so her life was in shambles at that point. And so now she's having to go back and move in with family. And things are just really hard. Well, she gets married again, and that marriage doesn't work out. And he was extremely abusive, mentally and emotionally. And then her second marriage was he was abusive. He seemed like a really great guy, right? But he also injured. So I'm a survivor of molestation from the time that I was 8 till I was 12. The crazy part is my mom stayed married to him even after his conviction. And that's, you might not be able to understand those pieces, but that also is just like domestic violence. What happens when somebody's in domestic violence? Like, they just keep going back to the thing. And she just didn't really know any better.
If it's not safe, it's at least known. It's comfortable. Yeah. There's some semblance of security in that space, even though it's not a safe place to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wish I could explain why, but I can't. Like, I don't really know what her thinking was. But I love my mom dearly, completely dearly.
And she loves you, I assume.
Yeah. And so my older brother, he got into drugs at a really young age. Our life was so chaotic because all while those things are happening, I'm also getting hit by my brother and sister quite often. And so when you are growing up in such chaos, when you become an adult, you don't really understand anything other than chaos. Most people that we serve, their stories are close to this, so close to this. Well, my older brother, he was only sober probably 1 year out of his entire life. He passed away in 2023, and unfortunately still addicted to drugs. But he also was homeless several times through that. And many of those times I was like pulling him back up and getting him help and trying to navigate services and not understanding, like not knowing where to go for services. And then even myself, like at one point in time, I made great money. I also lost my job at one point in time. I became a single mom. I was married once before, became a single mom. And then I struggled. I got into a single wide trailer that was really not livable, to be honest with you, when I moved in. But it was what I could afford. Well, shortly after we moved in, a friend of mine really wanted to help get the house livable, so she called the city. And I lived in Wiley at the time. She called the city. They came in and what they call red tag the trailer. That means they pull the meter, the electric meter. There's no electricity in the house.
So wait, your friend was trying to help in like getting you in a situation like fixing up the house? Was that the idea? And they came in and they said no, like they just pulled all the utilities from it.
So I had a landlord and he just wasn't willing to do that. So she thought, oh, let me go push this with the city and the city will force him to do that. Well, the city can't really force anybody to do anything. All they can do is pull the meter.
So you found yourself without a house, without somewhere to live.
Yes, I didn't know where me and my 3 boys were going to go.
Wow.
And we had to move everything out within a few days. I think probably really 3 days. And then I had another friend who was like, hey, I have a garage you can stay in. And so blessed to have a garage and a roof over my head. And thankfully it was during the wintertime because we could use heaters to warm up the garage. But she also had 4 kids and a husband. So I have my 3 kids, her 4 kids, and it's school time. So imagine trying to get that's 7 children, like bathed every day, get ready for school every day, trying to like make sure that people are fed. And so I worked so tirelessly during those times because I never wanted them to feel like we were a burden, but I also didn't know where to go to get help. And so we kind of did some couch surfing for a little while. So I ended up all the way in Fort Worth at one point in time.
And your kids are moving around with you in all of this, right? They're being displaced and finding themselves in new situations all the time. This sounds like something that anybody, including especially people that are doing the right thing, can find themselves in this situation quickly. I was reading a stat, and I forget the number, so I won't quote it, but like it's a remarkable number of people that are only, if they lost their job, they're only 3, 4 months, 6 months maybe from finding themselves without a place to live. Which is remarkable because I think that there's some stigma that we put around homelessness, right? Around
well, we want it to look like the person that's like highly addicted to something on the street and deciding and making the choice that they want to stay there.
Like it's some sort of free will that like, oh, well, you did this to yourself, or like this is a product of your bad decisions, a series of bad decisions over time, or your addiction, or your laziness, right? Whatever. And it's just remarkable because you hear your story and you start, looking at the way other people are living their life. And it's like, hey, man, you're not that far from that. Right. And you're doing everything right. So are most of these people, you mentioned your brother was homeless several times. And usually I think of like experiencing homelessness as being something that's maybe perpetual. Would you say that people that you're serving are in this intermediate, like sometimes without a house, sometimes with? Are they perpetually homeless by choice? Like how does that work? How does it break down?
So it is. So it's all across the board. So we have people that are chronically homeless. So that means that they are on the street many times throughout a year. so that they may stay in an extended stay hotel or something like that, or on a couch somewhere. And we have people that are homeless sleeping on couches, and we don't always deem that they're homeless. Like we were living in a garage, but not everybody deems that as homelessness.
Yeah.
It's instability of a living quarters.
Okay.
Homelessness is really that. It's instability, because at any given point in time, my friend could have said, "Hey, you got to go."
Yeah.
And what was I going to do?
Imagine the stress. I just can't imagine the pressure that feels with, like, to have 3 kids you're responsible for, and be completely at the kindness, the generosity of a friend who could rip that rug right out from under you at any time, right? Yeah. And the knowledge that, like, hey, we're one argument with my friend over here from being kicked out on the street. Yeah.
It takes one bad conversation for that really to happen. And that actually is for many of our people that are experiencing homelessness. They may be able to get to we may be able to bridge a gap for them and their family, for them to go stay there. But there's still work that needs to be done to be able to truly, like, help that family come together. And whatever happened in the past, help them with counseling of that, help that individual know how to go back into their own family and live, or maybe they don't have a family that's healthy at all and they can't go there.
Yeah.
It's already detrimental, just as detrimental as them being out on the street.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to navigate services that are vastly different for every person that we encounter. There's not one box that we can put multiple people in. But homelessness is really like, there's the chronic, there's the situational, where they're that up and down, and so, but really diving into the why. Why is this happening, and how do we help you? And we have many stories that we've been able to dive into those, and they are now living somewhere. They have an apartment. Some may be in an extended stay hotel still, but they're maintaining that hotel for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not having to call and get somebody to come and try to pay for it, or that we're getting the phone call that says, "Hey, if I don't pay this by tomorrow at noon, I'm out on the street again." So we have people that, and that's just one step for them to the next step.
Yeah.
So
you end up having to make a diving catch. I figure, like, most of these people are, if you're trying and making an active attempt in getting yourself back on whatever semblance of track that is, right? Yeah. Whatever that is for you. A lot of times you're trying to do it right up until the 11th hour, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to be without a place to live again. And then you get kind of called in to make, like, a diving catch and, like, help, and it's like almost too late, right?
Yes,
like you need the support. Are you seeing, is there a specific group or demographic that you see more of in this area that we need to be more cognizant of? Is it single families? Is it elderly? Is it women? Like, is it men? How does that work?
So for City Missions, we see predominantly men. So we see 80% men and 20% women. Okay. And so part of that is also that we have community partners that we can send people that have like a family. We can send families over, and they are great at navigating services for them and getting them the things that they need. We have some amazing nonprofits within Collin County, within Plano, that we all try to work the best that we can together. And then we have some amazing nonprofits that just work with domestic violence individuals, and those are mostly women in some of those services. But for City Missions, we serve 80% men, and I don't know how to tell you what navigates the difference between each one of us.
Yeah.
Why one of our community partners will see mostly families and seldom have any men that come to them. For us, we see 80% men, 20% women, and for our men, there's hard to navigate services for individuals that are 25 to around 55 to 60 years old.
Okay.
Because we have some great nonprofits that are helping young men under 25, and we have great nonprofits that are helping elderly or 60 plus, but we do have this group that is not receiving as much help as I feel like we can be giving them. And so that's a homed-in place for City Missions, where we are, because we have great nonprofits that we can navigate other services for other individuals. So it just seems like we are in this cusp of men that are 25 to 55.
That's interesting to see, like, because you assume like that's the most capable, I don't know, like men from 25 to 35, whatever, be like, hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right?
Yes.
Isn't that them? And the way we say like, hey, you can do it, right?
Yes.
Go get a job. Which means that the way we align the resources we do have to this issue is towards, like you said, families or people we see that maybe have a bigger challenge. It might be harder for a single mother with 3 kids to do the same thing as like a 25-year-old male, right? Yes. And so the services just aren't there for them, which makes it harder for those folks.
Yes.
I'd really challenging conundrum. And so that's where you found kind of your space, right? Cool.
Yeah.
And
it is just the area where it just keeps getting highlighted. And so when that happens, we just pay attention to it. And that whole bootstrap, pull up your bootstraps, right? And like, I grew up that way. I did it. I pulled up my bootstraps, right? I did have help from friends and individuals. I didn't have help from my family to pull up my bootstraps. I couldn't call my mom and her just come in and swoop in and help me. She was still trying to figure out her own chaotic life. Right? And so the whole pull up your bootstraps, well, if you don't have an ID, guess what? Can't work. If you don't have your social security card, it's really hard. You might know the number, but employers want the actual card itself. Well, to get those, you also have to have now your birth certificate, right? And so, where are you going to get the money for that? So many nonprofits help with ID services because that is one of the most important things. But often our individuals on the street lose those items. They either get stolen. They just lose them like nobody's business. My brother lost so much of his stuff all the time. And he would say that it would get stolen. And granted, some of it did, but some of it didn't. I mean, he would just misplace things. Or he would throw something in a bush, and it was picked up by whoever owns that building where that bush is. And they just throw it in the trash. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And so just helping our individuals navigate services with community strictly around them, because to pull their bootstraps up, they're going to need somebody in their corner.
Absolutely.
And, many of our men, they weren't raised to actually know what that means.
To have somebody in their corner?
To have somebody in their corner,
Okay.
To have somebody in their corner and it not be about, we had one individual, he actually had his electrical license in another state. And
like a licensed electrician.
Yes.
Okay.
So one day he was getting clothing. He always helps us set up. And so he's helping us set up, and I tell him all the time, just go ahead and get your items before everybody else, comes through, because if you're helping me, you're going to get to be at the first of the line. That's just how it is.
Sure.
And so I asked him this question. I was like, okay, so what did you used to do? Like when you were working, what did you do? And he was like, I was an electrician. Tanner, I was like, oh, mind blown, because that is a job that you literally can pay for your whole housing. Like you should be just fine.
It's definitely a skill that should put a roof over your head.
Yes.
We would hope in today's society.
I mean, I have 2 electricians and as my sons, and so they're highly capable of doing that part. And so, the money is good there, right? And so, but to dive in a little bit further with him, I couldn't do that day, but I asked him, I was like, okay, what do you need help from us to be able to get your electrical license back? And he's like, I just need to get my hours. I was like, okay, so we can meet up at the local library. I'll work. You call who you need to call to get your hours. And he's like, you mean hold my hand? I was like, oh, no. That's what he was taught. Like, nobody needs to hold his hand to do anything.
The idea of support is foreign to him, because it seems like this charity, you're steering him where he might not want to go, or
yeah. Well, it's the I can do it myself mentality. I don't need anybody else to help me.
yeah,
And that was his thought process. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'll just come and sit with you, do my work, you do yours. I was like, but I have accountability people in my life.
yeah,
That when I am struggling to get done what I need to do, I have people that will sit just with me, just like that. They're not doing any work for me. They're just holding me accountable and just being a friend. And that's all we want to do with you. And we were able to accomplish that. He was like, I've never been taught that or told that in my life. And so we would meet up at the local library while he made phone calls so that he can get his hours. Now, there's a part to that. If you don't leave jobs well, that's harder to get. And that's in parts of that he was experiencing. But he is no longer homeless today.
That's fantastic.
And part of that is just guiding with him, just being with him and walking through services. But again, if I wouldn't have asked the question, like, what did you used to do? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And so we just gain relationship to ask the questions because we can't do it automatically.
So it's you're building trust over time, right?
Yeah.
And I talk a lot on this podcast in a lot of different avenues about trust and how important building that is before we do anything.
Yeah.
Now sitting at the library with someone day after day as they get hours for their electrical license probably isn't a typical day for you guys. Can you talk about, because you mentioned when you started it was backpacks up and down the tracks, right?
Yes,
Giving out goodies, things that people needed to survive. What does a typical day look like for you and the people that work with you today?
So now we have a van. It's an unmarked van. We have not found a donor for the wraparound on that van. So it doesn't say city mission on it at all, but at some point in time that'll happen. We usually have clothing in there, hygiene. Sometimes we'll have gift cards for food because I don't care. I don't just run around with food in or cooked food. It's got to be canned food, something easy pop top type stuff.
Okay.
For individuals, it'll be like a pack. And so a lot of times we're going to check on people that we have already built relationships with, see what their need is, especially after it rains or there's storms of some sort. And sometimes it's during the summertime when it's very hot, or we also partner up with Street Side Showers that comes into Plano, and then they serve throughout all of the Metroplex.
Okay.
And they have actual trailers that are showers. And so individuals can get a shower and clean clothes from us. So we do a lot of that. So it could be just driving up and down the street, find the one person that's sitting on the in the median that's panhandling, which is very dangerous. So we a lot of times get them to come talk with us so we can find out who they are, where do they really stay, what are their needs, and sometimes they don't want to talk to us, and we back off, and I will show right back. I'm relentless.
Yeah.
So, but I also come with the big smiles that people see, which breaks down a ton of barriers. And at times I do this as a female by myself. And my husband will tell you, he has fear for me and I have no fear.
I have fear for you.
Now, in these rules I have to go by, he'll be like, hey, you cannot go and be on the fences into the wooded areas and things like that. So, and if he wouldn't put those rules in place, I will probably be there, Tanner.
There you go. Well, I'd say that most of the people that you're dealing with are probably on hard times and aren't violent and are not. totally safe. But I'm sure there are people right now going through a crisis, mentally unstable, drug addiction, that sort of thing, which one-on-one with you in the woods might not be safe. I would definitely keep that. I think your husband's got a pretty good line that you guys have drawn together. So with respect to the community and support, what do you need today, tomorrow, in the future?
Yeah.
What's a big need for you?
So every nonprofit needs funds.
Sure.
We all need funds to be able to do what we do. So giving is always a great thing. And if that's in somebody's heart, we would love for you to consider city missions for that. If not us, there's many others that are out there that are in need of the same thing. But impact. Individuals have big impact. A lot larger sphere than what we even have. So sometimes sharing some of our content, coming and inviting us to come speak at different events. I will be at a company this week in Plano. They're doing hope bags for us. But I'm also going to share a little bit about city missions. So that's a really great event for us. Okay. I'll be at one of the Rotary clubs tomorrow. I'll be at another Rotary club in a couple of weeks as well. And it's just being able to be invited for the conversation. Okay. And what City Missions does, and about homelessness, because this is all about advocacy for homelessness and the people that we serve, and how do we help them. We live in one of the greatest counties, and we have homelessness here, and it may be 200 to 300 people. It's honestly more than that, but federal numbers, national numbers will look vastly different than who we actually serve. But that's still individuals that are experiencing homelessness right here in this county that we really can be helping and figuring out navigating services. I would love to see homelessness end. That may not really happen in my lifetime because there'll be somebody else that has some sort of medical thing that happens, and they've lost their housing, or they lose their job, right? And so homelessness is probably never going to end. My heart would be that I don't want anybody to be homeless or be in poverty. But so being able to invite us into more of the conversation for just to talk about what we do. Okay. And then, come serve with us. Okay. Come serve individuals with us. So we are out the first and third Saturdays of every month here in Plano with Street Side Showers. So we partner with them. We do clothing and hygiene and everything while individuals are getting showers. There's always a church that does food. You get to serve the underserved and really realize that they are actually no different than you and I. They're just humans that are experiencing homelessness. And so you get to have more conversations, and sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking for people that have never served in that way. We have individuals that are like, I'm so nervous. And so we usually put them behind a table where they feel safe. But they get to see the real heart of what City Missions is. We also, if serving individuals that are experiencing homelessness, if you don't want to serve with them, we also have serving events where people organize all of our clothing and all of our donations. Yeah. So, and that's usually we get a lot of high school students, because you have to be 15 or older to serve on a Saturday. Okay. Because we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. And so I don't want to have to explain anything to younger littles, right? And so we have opportunities for the littles to be able to do something. If you're with a church or an organization, you can make hope bags for us. That's so helpful. And we actually have a resource kit on our website. Okay. Yeah, that has more information. To repeat this back, to help you guys, creating awareness in the community is absolutely something we do. Bringing you into a networking group or your sphere of influence and allow you to share your story and see if there's ways as a community we can help is an option. You could serve either on first and third Saturdays with your ecosystem partners, or on the back end, actually preparing some of the goodie bags and organizing clothes and things like that. If you're not wanting to get, in the trenches with those folks experiencing homelessness. You also mentioned donations. So outside of a monetary donation, which obviously you would like, and I'm sure you can go to City Missions website. I can see there's a give today. If you go to, what is the website here? It is City Missions with an S .org. Citymissions.org. There's a big button that says give today. If I'm the type
type that wants to donate goods, clothing, something like that, what are your needs? What are the do's and don'ts? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to help and they give you something, you're like, I can't use this, right?
Yes. So we take clothing for men and women. We see 80% men, but we actually receive like probably 80% women's clothing because women, we buy lots of clothes and we'll get rid of them, right? And men keep a hold of their clothes, but we need men's clothing. So right now we're about to go into summertime, so we need shorts, tank tops, short sleeves, things like that. We do tennis shoes or sandals. Nothing that is for business wear. If we have somebody that needs that, we will go purchase that for them. Otherwise, we don't have the room to store it.
Yeah.
But you can actually take any of your donations to A Affordable Garage Door Services here in Plano.
Okay,
they
great.
are one of our. They've become one of our partners to be able to. Because we're mobile, we don't have a building. So they're there Monday through Saturday, so you can drop off your donations there.
Excellent. That's A1 Affordable Garage Doors. I'm trying to remember exactly where that is.
It is over where Burlington is.
Okay, where the Burlington Coat Factory is, that kind of like Plano Parkway, and like where
75 in Plano Parkway, maybe.
Yeah, kind of where Collin Creek Mall used to be.
Yes.
Look it up. A1 Affordable Garage Doors. If you want to drop off some donations, is there something that you wish that the residents here in Southwest Collin County knew about this community of people experiencing homelessness that maybe we're just missing the whole big picture on?
They're here.
Yeah.
Individuals are here, and we're trying to do our best to be able to navigate services. We would love the help of the community to be able to do that and really come together and say, hey, we want to love them and love them well and find places for them to be and services to navigate for. That's really what I would say to our community here. As you know, as somebody that has experienced it, I really needed people around me. And I really didn't have that. And so that is exactly what City Missions does. And it's so what our community partners do as well.
Excellent. For somebody, you mentioned how volatile this can be and how close some of us might be to finding ourselves in this situation. Are there any warning signs where we see friends or students that we might be part of or other family members that might trigger us to engage with them in some sort of respectful way where we can offer aid and assistance? Is there a sign that I can look for?
So a lot of times it's going to be in how individuals are probably spending their money, or many a times when somebody starts to just seclude themselves. If they had community around them and had more of their family around, or even friends or church, and they stop attending stuff, there's probably something really going on with them. And so just gently reaching out and saying, I see you, I love you. Is there something I can help with?
Right. I think that pretty much wraps up today. Is there anything else you'd like to say on behalf of City Missions or anything at all?
Yeah, just that we are honored to be here, and we love this community, and we just want to lift this community up.
Great.
Yeah.
So that is Cherie Privet with City Missions. You can donate money, food, clothing. We mentioned where you can do that. Share this initiative and this story with your sphere. And then consider spending your time and effort and energy either helping on the back end or getting in the trenches on Saturdays with us. Cherie, thank you so much for the time. I'm so grateful to know you and proud you take the opportunity to come in here today. Thank you.